Hey guys, happy Sunday. I'm here with little Monroe. We are sitting outside. It is already easily 75 degrees. It's gonna go up to, I believe, well above 80 today, which is so unusual. So I'm taking this opportunity to make a video that somebody had asked me to make quite some time ago. And so little Monroe will be the focus of this chat about the struggle of taking an open-eyed doll out in public. Most people will take, if they're going to take a doll out in public, most people generally will take a closed-eyed, a sleeper, because they are less likely to catch someone's eye that they won't realize it's not a real baby unless you're looking for reaction, which I never am, like never, ever, ever. Anytime I have taken a doll out, I have the nerves, like you wouldn't, like the anxiety, nervous that someone's gonna know it's a doll. And I've taken both open-eyed dolls out and I've taken sleepers out, and there's definitely more anxiety with an open-eyed baby. But I'm going to give you some tips of what I have done, and also, you know, what I've seen other people do to make it a little bit more easy to take an open-eyed baby out in public if you really, really want to. So part of like the preparation, I think, for taking a doll out is, one, making sure you have everything that you need so that if you want to cover up the baby, make the baby less likely to be seen in certain places, especially if you're in stores where people get a little closer. Also choosing, like, are you going to use a stroller, or are you going to be using a car seat or a bassinet? Like, all of those things, when you decide what you want to use, matter how you kind of can camouflage or show less of the baby when you're out. And that's my dog barking, because the person just, you know, rode by on their bike and she's just alerting me. She's in the window. She lays in the window like a cat on the back of the couch. It's the funniest thing. So I apologize for the barking in the background, but it is what it is. And she's clearly very excited, and she sees me out here, so that's also the case. But anyways, back to what we were chatting about. So ultimately, like, if I'm going to take a doll out, whether it be awake or sleeping, I generally will use, I prefer my Orbit baby system with the car seat, not the stroller, because I don't have the stroller seat. I just prefer the car seat only. I just really like the features of this, and I think it's also a good way to nestle in the baby so that you feel like the baby is, I don't know, can be easily like in it, like she's in it. I feel like she's more protected in it rather than laying her in a bassinet, because I do have my Quinny Buzz 3 bassinet that trying to get my dog to stop barking, it's annoying, that I have the bassinet attachment for. And it's a beautiful, like, most of the time Monroe is hanging out in my office in my Quinny Buzz 3 bassinet. She's laying in that because I like to have her displayed there. But with the bassinet, I have like the muff cover, which basically is like the boot cover that covers like all the way up when a baby is laying in a bassinet. But if it's nice out, and that would be the way I would say use that if you want to like be able to show less of the baby. But if it's nice outside and it's warm, you wouldn't have had that. I mean, it's more meant for colder weather type of thing. So I generally just steer clear of using the bassinet to take a doll out. Strollers, I also have the Quinny Buzz 3 stroller seat. Also nice to use, but it's less encompassing. So this is always my, you know, choice of how I'm going to take a doll out. Is going to be in a car seat of some sort, and if it's not this, I have other car seats as well. Ridiculous, I know, I have more than one car seat for my collection of dolls and stroller systems. But with the Orbit baby, you know, and even if you don't have the Orbit baby that has like, it has a hidden shield that's called a paparazzi shield that comes over and literally hooks around the bottom. so it covers the baby. So the baby can be completely shaded. I like that. But if most people don't have an Orbit baby system that has a paparazzi shield, so I would say investing in a car seat cover that you can buy them for super cheap anywhere, and they basically just drape over the car seat in different ways. There's different types, styles, but generally the idea is doing what the paparazzi shield does, right? So the baby can be shaded from either sun or people or whatever. So if you still are struggling with like, okay, so I don't want to leave the baby covered, right? We want to take them out and enjoy seeing them. And when I've taken Monroe out, I've taken her like on walks. I find that it's very easy to just leave it uncovered, but she's wearing a hat, she's wearing a sun hat, and I found that that's like my tool, so that I can cover her more by placing a hat over her head, and I can actually flip this down where it covers more of her face. And then at a glance, she's just an awake baby staring at mommy when we're walking along, you know? And I have had people approach me, and I don't think they knew, but it is still nerve-wracking though. Like, you know, also like props. Do props help? It depends. To me, I tend to take less props. I might take like a burp cloth, like a old style white cloth diaper with me and drape it, and maybe a lightweight blanket that I can kind of tuck in next to her, and then kind of cover her. And then when you flip the brim down and you kind of cover her and kind of bunch up the blankets around her, you tend to see less of the baby at a glance if people are passing by or they stop and peek in. I have found that those are some neat tricks and tips to, you know, kind of fool. Like I said, I never go out with the intention of, you know, showing and sharing that I collect dolls and take them out in public. It's just not my thing. And it's rare that I ever take a doll out. Honestly, the most likely time I will take a doll out is to go take a walk. But I won't do it around my neighborhood. Everybody knows me. They know I don't have a living baby, like, you know, unless I become a grandmother at some point, which, you know, but still. Too likely to run into someone I know. But I find that the less props and stuff, like I don't bring a pacifier, I don't bring like toys, I don't bring dangly toys, but you can. That's another way that you can kind of camouflage if you use, well, this one is a little different, but on most car seats, they have the plastic handle that you can attach different hanging toys that will, you know, also, you know, cover a portion of the baby's face. So it's all about like tricking the eye, you know, it's smoke and mirrors, so to speak. And we all talk about that when we take pictures of our dolls and all of that, right? But it's the same thing when you take your doll out. It's really about being prepared, knowing like, how do you handle the situation? Like, that's how I deal with it, because I'm OCD. I need to like plan ahead. And if I run into somebody, like I want to be able to shade the baby or have, you know, ways to kind of camouflage her a little bit more so that they don't see she doesn't blink. But it's easier to control the atmosphere with a sleeping baby, because you can simply say, I'm sorry, my baby's sleeping, I don't want to disrupt the baby or whatever, and keep moving. You know, there are just ways to combat that. It's just a little harder with an open-eyed baby, because you'd be, you know, if you had an open-eyed baby, you'd be talking to the baby, especially, you know, one that's looking at you and, you know, perhaps not making any noise, so you just talk to them. I don't know. But that's how I deal with it. I find that being prepared is the key for me, but I still get anxiety about it. If I'm gonna, like, the very thought of taking Monroe out, especially locally in public, like I just, too much anxiety. Someday maybe I won't care, but I just, at this point, I still don't feel like I would want to do that. But I know a lot of people really don't mind people finding out, and they really enjoy taking their dolls out, but they don't want tons of attention drawn to them, but they, you know, would like to be able to take a doll out. These are some helpful tips, I think, that just make it a little bit easier to enjoy taking your doll out in public if it's an open-eyed baby. But the struggle is definitely real, for sure. But the biggest thing, I think, is just having a way to cover up the baby. So if you feel uncomfortable and someone's approaching, because you know there are always those people in public that will come rushing up to a little baby, you know, and want to stick their heads right in the stroller or the car seat or whatever you have the baby in. And it's just One, I will never understand that. I don't know, maybe it's like, it's usually older women that love looking at babies. I don't know, maybe it's like a grandma thing, or as I get older, I'll maybe do the same thing. I mean, I love seeing babies out in public, but I never would stick my face in, and I've seen it happen in public. I've had it happen when my kids were little, and I could never quite understand why they thought that they could be so bold and stick their face in so close to a newborn baby. But you can, if you prevent it in ways, and you have a way to just kind of flip down a blanket or whatever, or a car seat cover, definitely super helpful to kind of keep people moving. Like giving them the sign, like, please do not touch, don't reach in. And there are baby signs. I've seen this in I don't know, it's been years now since I've seen like regular meetup videos. Like I used to follow a couple of channels in the UK that used to go to doll meetups, and they had these really amazing fancy prams, and they would have these little signs when they went in public that they attached in a way, like, I don't know whether I don't remember how they attached it, but when people were approaching, it says, please don't get close to the baby, something about germs and whatever, like how you would handle like dealing with someone getting too close to a living baby, right, when they're little. And I thought that was genius, but I have yet to see any of those cute signs. Like I searched Etsy back and then when I saw them, but this has been years. I'm sure you can find them, but especially with like just going through a pandemic, people don't want people getting close to their babies, I guess. But that's also a really neat idea, is like having a little sign that hangs off the handle. Maybe it hangs down, it says, please don't get close to the baby. And they had a cute saying about it, something to do with like germs and being a new baby, you know, that sort of thing. So that's also a really good way to keep people's noses out of your stroller, unless you want the attention. Like it really just depends on what you're trying to achieve. But I am never ever looking for attention, and most of my, you know, fellow collectors that I've chatted with about this don't want the attention as well. And it is nerve-wracking for most of us when we take a doll of any kind out in public. So there you go. Those are my tips. I also think that wrapping them in a blanket, really having something to cover them at a quick moment, is just super important. And that way you can, you know, keep your anxiety level down when you're out and about. But I'm really hoping I get to a point where I feel like I can just take her out, or take a doll out, and people, and not care if people were, you know, see me or know me or whatever. I really, really pray I get to that point, because I think it would be really fun to not have such anxiety about it, especially like with Lola, little Miss Lola May. She's just a beautiful sleeper and would be wonderful to take out, but I find it full of anxiety just thinking about it. But anyways, guys, there's my thoughts on taking an open-eyed baby out in public, and a few tips that I have learned along the way. And it was from my own experience, but also watching others taking their open-eyed dolls out. Definitely ways to feel more comfortable about doing it. And, you know, depending on how big your baby is, like I wouldn't suggest like taking a preemie out, because most people wouldn't take a preemie out, you know. But enjoy it. Like if you want to take your doll out, take your doll out. Just being prepared for people to approach is really just the biggest thing to try to combat the finding out and noticing that the baby doesn't blink and all of that, or coo or cry, you know, all of that sort of thing. But hopefully you guys find this helpful. And Monroe is still in her little sunsuit. Oh my God, I love this on her. And I love her, this is a Jacquerie petal hat. It's a little petal sun hat. I have them in multiple colors, and they literally, the size of the hat, it's a 1 month size, or wait, I lie, it's 41. They do it in numbers. I don't know, it might be a measurement, I don't know. But they fit her like a glove, and I love that they are just perfectly sized for her. And they're so cute, and they go with so many things. So, you know, that's why I have them in multiple colors, because I can pair them with all my other little sun outfits and, or, you know, summery things that I would want to have a sun hat on her with. So, and I'm loving that you guys love this little sun romper, sunsuit, whatever we want to call it. It is super pretty. It is super pretty. And speaking of, my dog's barking at someone walking with, it looks like a very small infant in a very covered car seat. Ironic, guys. Anyways, I hope you're having beautiful, wonderful weather wherever you guys are at. It'll get cold again, so this is not weather that will stay, but I'm going to enjoy it for the day and really take it in and just, yeah, enjoy the fact that I have nice weather on a weekend. So enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and Monroe and I will see you all very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.